In today's video, I'm going to be ranking and showcasing every single fighting style in Blox Fruits. There are 12 different fighting styles in total, and I'm going to be ranking them on the basis of 4 categories: damage, combos, difficulty, and lastly, looks. But before we continue, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 150,000 subscribers. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Combat fighting style. Whenever you join into Blox Fruits, this is the first fighting style you will have, and it's not really that good. Out of all the other fighting styles, this has the lowest damage. And to be honest, that's not really that surprising because combat is literally the first fighting style you get. Regardless of that, the moves are also very bad. And if we talk about combos, yeah, you can't really do any combos with this fighting style. And lastly, how cool does this fighting style look? With these very basic moves, I don't think it's getting any points in looks. So unfortunately, I'm going to be ranking the combat fighting style in the poopy tier. Darkstep fighting style. This is actually a very unique fighting style because everything you do with this fighting style is based on your legs. Even your hockey will be on your feet, bro. It's so freaking cool. And this is the first move. Wherever you aim, you will go ahead and do a little stomp there, but as you can see, it doesn't really have that much range. Then this is the second move right here. You do like a little break dance and yeah, that's it. And here's the third ability. It's actually a barrage of kicks which actually does a decent bit of damage. And now the most important part. If you press the overheat button, your legs will turn into fire. Look at how cool that is, bro. And now with this, every single move will do so much more damage, especially if you are pretty new to the game. So yes, this is by far a big upgrade from the combat fighting style, but sadly it will be ranked in the bad tier. Electric fighting style. Alright, similar to the Darkstep, this is another fighting style which a beginner can easily get. This fighting style does a decent amount of damage, so it's not like super bad or anything, but it's not really that strong as well. This is the first move right here. You go up in the air and you do a little stomp, which literally has 0 range. Then here is the second move. You basically do a little dash, which deals a decent bit of damage. And then we have the C move, which is my favorite. Look at this. You can actually stun all of these guys together and then use this move and easily farm levels. But that's literally it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna be ranking this in the bad tier, and personally I think Darkstep is a little bit better than the electric fighting style. Water Kung Fu. This is the last obtainable fighting style in the first C. And in my opinion, it is the strongest fighting style from the first C. Just like the Darkstep and electric, this fighting style does a decent amount of damage, not super high but not low as well. Here is the first move. It's simply like a projectile which deals a bunch of damage. Then this is the second move right here. It shoots out little projectiles which is actually pretty strong. And lastly, we have the third move right here. Simple dash, but it deals a lot of damage. Personally, I think this is the best fighting style from the first C, but sadly, once again, I'm going to be ranking this in the bad tier. I don't think these fighting styles should deserve to go any higher. Dragon Breath fighting style. Now we have made it to the second C, so hopefully the fighting styles will get a little bit stronger. First of all, the damage of this fighting style is a lot higher than all the ones we have ranked earlier. Next up, if we look at the moves, this is the first ability right here. Pretty freaking cool. Here we have the second move right here. It has a decent amount of range as well. And then here is the last ability. It's actually pretty decent. As you can see, the damage is also pretty good. And if we talk about the combos, I guess you can do some combos with this fighting style, but like it's not really that good. But nonetheless, I'm going to be ranking this in the decent tier. Superhuman fighting style. Now we're getting into the good stuff. There was one point in Blox Fruits when Superhuman was the best fighting style in the game, but that was a very long time ago. Anyways, if we check the damage of this fighting style, it's actually pretty good. Like definitely a lot higher than the damages we have seen earlier in this video. This is the first move right here. Look at this. Yeah, that's actually a big improvement from what we have seen earlier. Then here we have the second move. a pretty good AoE. And then lastly, we have the C move, which is also very strong. If we talk about combos with this fighting style, yes, you can definitely cook up some very strong combos with this. Even in this update, if you know how to use the Superhuman fighting style, I think you could definitely get a little bit of kills. But since there are so many better fighting styles in the game, I don't think I can rank it even in the very good tier. So I'm just gonna be ranking it at the top of decent tier. Deathstep fighting style. This is yet again another very unique fighting style which only uses your legs. I personally really like this concept, like it just looks so freaking cool. And starting off with the damage, it actually has pretty good damage. And I will go over damage in a little bit since it also has a maximum overheat move which basically increases your damage by a lot. Then here we have the first skill, the rocket kick. It's simply like a dash, but it does a decent bit of damage. Then we have the wind bullet. This is a projectile, pretty good as well. And then to top it off, we have a barrage move right here. And the best part is you can actually hold down the barrage move for a lot of time, as you can see. And then the moment you all have been waiting for, the maximum overheat ability. And after activating this maximum overheat, all of my moves will deal a lot more damage, and plus they will leave down a flame ability which also burns these NPCs. Additionally, my C move is also going to be a lot more strong now. So yeah, this is definitely a pretty solid fighting style, and I'm going to be ranking this just below the Superhuman. I personally like the Superhuman a little bit more, since to do combos, Superhuman is a little bit better. So yeah, Sharkman Karate. This fighting style has recently gotten a rework, and it actually looks insane. If you haven't noticed already, we have already made it to the 3rd sea, and now hopefully all the fighting styles are gonna get pretty freaking strong. Well, starting off with the damage, the Sharkman Karate actually does a decent amount of damage. But there is just a little bit of a problem. The M1s are not really like super easy to handle, so you usually miss like 1 or 2 M1s, which matters a lot when you are farming levels. Regardless of that, this is the first move right here. Look at this. It's a dash, and after that it also throws like a little shark, which does a bunch of damage. This is the second move right here. You can literally control the player. That's so freaking cool. I think looks wise, this is one of the coolest fighting styles in the game at the moment. Then here we have the strongest move. You can pull somebody in and then throw them out once again, dealing a bunch of damage. And that's not even all. If you have this fighting style upgraded, you will be rewarded with this shield thingy, and you will take a lot less damage when you have this shield. Let's move on into the combos. I think this fighting style has pretty good combo potential, but I wouldn't say it has the best combo potential, you know, because there are other fighting styles, I would say, which are a lot more stronger than the Sharkman Karate. So in my opinion, I'm gonna be ranking this in the very good tier. It's definitely a solid fighting style, but I wouldn't quite rank it in the best tier. Dragon Talon fighting style. This fighting style looks amazing. Just by holding it out and the M1s, you can already tell this looks absolutely sick. And if we test out the damage, look at this. 3000 damage per M1. This is crazy, bro. This is the first move right here. Just look at this. Just freaking look at that. And keep in mind, guys, I have to be very, and I mean very careful talking about this fighting style, because Uzoth, one of the admins, loves this fighting style, and if I rank it badly, I might get banned. So yeah, I have to be a little bit careful. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, the first move is actually pretty freaking strong. Then we have the second move, which is like a projectile, and it's like a freaking whole dragon, bro. And if you actually hold down the X move, you can ride this dragon. Like, it's crazy, bro. And then lastly, we have the best move, the C move. Look at how OP that freaking is. If you actually bounty hunt with this fighting style, the C move is insanely OP. Like, it can help you dodge attacks, and it also deals a bunch of damage. This is actually a very strong fighting style, but I'm gonna be ranking it in the very good tier and just below the Sharkman Karate. I'm sorry, Uzoth, but yeah, it's just not the best fighting style in the game, bro. Sanguine art fighting style. Alright, now we're getting on into the big dogs. First of all, just look at the M1s. They look so freaking clean, so crispy, and the damage is also pretty freaking high. And if we move on into the moveset, it's actually broken. The first move is a dash move which also damages your opponent and also heals yourself. Like, what else do you need from a move? It damages your opponents and also heals you. Like, what? Then we have the second move, which is very simple, but yet it deals a lot of damage. And here is the last move. If you actually hit your opponents with this, you will deal a lot of damage. Look at this. It deals like 5,000 to 6,000 damage in total, but even if you miss this move, it will spawn a little circle, and after a little bit, it will deal damage to nearby enemies. So yeah, no question about it, this fighting style is absolutely broken. I'm gonna be ranking this in the best tier at the moment. It is one of the strongest fighting styles in the game at the moment. Electric Claw fighting style. Alright, this is like the bigger brother of the electric fighting style, and I would say this is a very underrated fighting style. First of all, this is the damage right here. Pretty decent damage in my opinion. It's not super broken, but still you can't say that this damage is bad. So here is the first move right here. You can actually hold it down, it deals a bunch of damage, and then you dash into your enemy, which also deals a little bit of damage. It's actually a pretty decent move in my opinion. Then we have the second move, and this is just a simple dash. Look at that. Easy damage. If you actually have good aim, this fighting style can be very strong for you, because most of the abilities require a lot of aim. And then here is the last and the strongest move. So wherever you aim, you will dash towards that area and then simply do damage. And I don't know if you have noticed, but this fighting style is extremely fast. Your opponents have a very hard time dodging these abilities, and if you talk about combos, doing combos with this fighting style is very easy. So yeah. And one last thing, looks wise, this fighting style definitely looks pretty cool, like whatever the name says, right? The name is Electric Claw, and yes, the fighting style looks very lightning based, and also the moveset is extremely fast, you know, giving that lightning energy. So I'm going to be ranking the Electric Claw fighting style in the best tier, but I think the Sanguine art is definitely a little bit better. Godhuman fighting style. As I talked about Superhuman being one of the most strongest fighting styles back in the day, well, nowadays Godhuman is simply that, and quite literally it feels like the bigger brother of Superhuman. Well, first here is the damage. Damage is actually pretty good, as you can see, but if you haven't noticed already, the highest damage dealing fighting style is actually the Dragon Talon. Yes, the Dragon Talon has the highest damage compared to all the other fighting styles. Regardless of that, let's move on into the abilities. This is the first ability. It's basically like the barrage move from the Superhuman, but a lot more stronger. Then the second move is a projectile. Wherever you aim, you can do damage, and if you hold down the second move, you can do a big AoE attack, and as you can see, that's quite similar to the Superhuman. And then here we have the third move. Look at this. Pretty similar to the Superhuman's third move. And then once again, if you actually hold down the C move, you get like a little bit of aimbot, like a little bit. It kind of locks on your enemy and does the same move, but this time it will deal a bunch more damage. So yeah, just by the moveset, as you can see, Godhuman has one of the highest combo potentials in the game. Like, you can literally use any fruits in the entire game, right? But if you use Godhuman with it, you can do insane combos and beat your enemies super duper fast. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. Godhuman is definitely going in the best tier, and in my personal opinion, I think it's gonna be the best fighting style for me. Sanguine art and Godhuman are both probably very close in power level, but I still think Godhuman is a little bit easier to use and also has a lot more combo potential. So yeah, this is my final list right here. Let me know in the comments below if you guys agree with this list, and also let me know which fighting style do you use in Blox Fruits. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, make sure to join my Discord server as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.